Hey everybody, so here's my Q&A video for Season 10 of The Walking Dead. We're now only 3 weeks from the Season 10 premiere, so that's so exciting. So thank you guys for all the questions. For next week's Q&A, just post more questions down below. This video will contain spoilers for, I guess, like what you would expect, the comics, and obviously both shows, Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead, mostly just like Season 9 of that anyways. The first question here, do you think Morgan will be in the Rick movies, and or do you think him and Rick will see each other again? I picked this question because I just watched the first episode ever to The Walking Dead. I posted a review on that last night, actually. It was pretty late last night, so a lot of you guys probably didn't see it, but I'll leave a link to it at the end of this video. I really enjoyed that episode. It's called Days Gone By. And yeah, that's why I chose this question. I want that reunion to happen. I think it needs to happen. For this one movie, we need to have Rick and Morgan together. I think Morgan was so crucial to Rick's just, beginnings. Since Rick is starting off this new journey, and that's the thing, like these 3 movies here, you gotta think of them as this new journey for Rick Grimes. Seasons 1 to 9, that was like his first journey into the apocalypse. This is gonna be a whole brand new thing. And if you think about it, season 1 to 9, for when Rick is there anyways, it's only like 4 years. It's literally only 4 years because Judith is 10 now. They did a 6-year time jump after he went missing. So yeah, that was like 4.5 years, maybe close to 5 years or something. Where these movies will be taking place is probably most likely right from where he went missing. And it's already been 6 years. So he's already been gone longer than he ever was with them in the apocalypse, right? So this is a different story for Rick. And also these movies, the first one will probably take place within these 6 years. The second one might be set in current times right now. And then the third one will be set a year or 2 from now, like in the Walking Dead timeline. So since this is a second journey for Rick, I think it makes so much sense to have Morgan there. Mostly because Morgan's on Fear the Walking Dead and he's kind of lost there anyways right now. I don't think they know what to do with that character. And because they've already teased the CRM, they can easily go into that with Morgan. They can have him escape or leave somehow. Rick and Morgan in that first movie working together, yeah, I'm all for that. Q&A, if the throat rip out scene happens this season, do you think it's going to be Daryl or Michonne? Also love your videos. Keep up the incredible work. So first of all, thank you for that. And I don't really care who it is, but I feel like Daryl would probably be the most logical answer just because I feel like he would be think about it. Out of Daryl and Michonne, who's going to rip out someone's throat? Probably Daryl, because he's like a monster like that anyways, right? Michonne, she could do it. It depends on what point they are in their lives, right? We see Michonne holding Lucille. Maybe that's not a dream sequence or a vision or an illusion or whatever. Maybe that's actually real. And maybe at a certain point, Michonne is just going crazy. She's going down that dark path like Rick did. Yeah, I could see her doing that too. But it would just be cool to have Daryl do it. I know Michonne was also in that scene, but we had that really important scene between the two afterwards where Rick said to Daryl, "You're my brother, Daryl," which was, first of all, just such a powerful scene. Like watching that scene after that entire episode and the build to that moment, it gives me goosebumps every time. And so I think Daryl to do that right now, it's like, first of all, this nice call to Rick, but I think Daryl, it's almost coming full circle because, Daryl almost understands what Rick went through and why he had to do that. Although I'm sure he does understand it, but it would just be nice if it was Daryl. I hope they do that, but that could be too crazy. Like Angela Kang might see that as, well, we're just copying season 4, so we'll allow season 4 to have that very special moment, but I don't know. It would be so cool if they did it. And as for what character, if Daryl does it, cool. If Michonne does it, cool. I just want the scene to happen. Q&A, do you want to see a fight scene this season between Negan and Beta? Oh yeah, for sure, definitely. I want to see that. What I really want to see is a fight scene between Daryl and Beta and Negan and Beta. Actually, just put all 3 of them in a ring. Negan and Daryl working together to take down Beta. I would absolutely love that. Even have them kill Beta too, like change it up there. That'd be super cool. I want to see that fight scene for sure. And we are going to see it. If Angela Kang didn't add that to the season, it would be a big disappointment. I'm going to complain about it so much. Yes, a Negan versus Beta fight scene is going to happen, and I do think Negan's going to have Lucille when he fights Beta. Have you been notified if Lauren Cohan has been seen on The Walking Dead's filming set of season 10? I didn't hear anything about her returning to The Walking Dead this season. No, I haven't heard anything about Lauren Cohan returning at all. It's actually just been very radio silent. From what I've heard, or I guess what I haven't heard is, yeah, like the Lauren Cohan situation is just, it's super weird. It is very quiet, which tells me either, it doesn't really tell me anything. Either they're working on something right now, they're actually working out this deal, because if they're working on a contract, they're working on something, they can't really talk about it. They can't say it's going one way or whatever. So yeah, as for just that, I have no idea. Maybe that's why Lauren Cohan isn't doing interviews, but I haven't been keeping up with her. I don't know if she has any other projects or if she's doing anything else. I really have no idea. Q&A, where do you see slasher characters characters like Michael Myers, for example, in The Walking Dead? Would they be whisperers or worse? P.S. I love your content. Thank you very much. And as for Michael Myers and characters like that in The Walking Dead, I mean, that would just be weird. I think they would all be zombies, because the thing about those type of characters is they just walk mindlessly into certain situations. And I don't know, I feel like Michael Myers, for sure, him would get eaten alive and he would just be a zombie Michael Myers. Jason, I mean, he's kind of a zombie already, right? So I don't think anything would really happen to him. I think he would just be himself. Maybe he'll try to eat people instead. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of weird. And Freddy, I mean, Freddy, he kind of haunts your dreams, so I don't really know about that. But I guess if he went into the real world, like was brought in from a character having a dream, then maybe he could turn to a zombie. I don't really know. I don't think so. But Q&A, who do you think will survive the longest between Carol and Daryl? I think probably Daryl. I think if Melissa McBride wants to stay on the show, then I feel like it'll be her for sure, because I do see Daryl dying. I think he's going to die in the very last season. I think it just makes the most sense. I don't think that character's going to get out alive. I think he's going to do so much for everyone, and then at the end, he's going to die, and it'll be very, very heartbreaking. But yeah, it all depends on Melissa McBride with that. If she's going to stay until the end, then for sure, I see Carol outliving Daryl. But if she wants to leave and go do another project, then for sure, obviously, Daryl's going to outlive her. Q&A, after the Rick movies are over, what will happen to him? Will he die or go back to The Walking Dead? That's the big question I have. You know, I have all these questions about these Rick movies and stuff like that, but I have a lot of questions about Rick Grimes and what happens after that third movie, because from what I've heard, it's like they do plan to have some kind of, I guess, reunion at some point. But as for is that going to happen in that third movie or on the show, I have no idea. Is the show going to end before that third movie comes out? I don't know. Are they going to tie in that third movie to what's happening on the show, so the show would have a separate storyline, because they will be in original material. The movies will be around it, kind of like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and obviously the Marvel Cinematic movies. It's all canon, it's all working together, but you just have these movies where certain characters are there and you know, all that. So it could work very similarly. Like, we'll see the reunion in that third movie. A lot of characters from The Walking Dead will be in that movie, but yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what they plan with that. We'll just have to watch this first movie, and we'll learn a bunch more details, I'm sure, next year. Next year at Comic-Con, I'm like, for sure, we're probably going to get a trailer for the Rick movie. If not a trailer, like a release date, Andrew Lincoln might pop up or something like that. Q&A, do you think the show would be different if they kept the same showrunner for the whole show? If so, how? By the way, love your videos. Keep it up, bro. Thank you very much. I was thinking about this last night because I watched the premiere to the series, and Frank Darabont has a very specific style of directing and, I guess, direction, and I really am a huge fan of Frank Darabont, and there's something that he brought to The Walking Dead that a lot of these other showrunners don't have. But then there's stuff about, you know, first of all, Glenn Mazzara, I'm not that big of a fan of, but there are things about Gimple, there are things about Angela Kang that I also do really like, but obviously there's things that I don't like as well. I don't know, if it was always run by Gimple, I mean, I think the show would be very, very different. If it was always run by Angela Kang, it'd be a lot like what season 9 is, I guess. If Frank Darabont ran it, I think it would be a lot like what seasons 1 and 2 were like. And I do think if he was still the showrunner, the show likely would have ended after season 5 or 6. He wouldn't have kept it going on for like as long as it did. He would have ended it around that point. Q&A, how do you think the first Rick Grimes movie will open up? I hope it opens up very similarly to Days Gone By. Not in a way where he wakes up from that bed and he's just like very lost. Like, that could happen too. I want something more original there. They don't have to keep referencing the pilot, but it would be cool to reference that scene where he's walking out of the hospital. He sees all these dead bodies everywhere and all these helicopters, and he's walking around like, what is going on here? I would love a scene like that. The shock of being alive, the shock of where he is, that's going to be a big part of that opening. And yeah, I can't wait for that. I really can't wait for that. And I'm sure Andrew Lincoln is dying to play Rick Grimes again. Like, oh, I can talk about the Rick Grimes movie forever. I'm not even kidding. I could literally probably do a 24-hour live stream talking about the Rick Grimes movies. I'm too excited for that. I can't wait for all the behind the scenes footage of Andrew Lincoln dressing up as Rick Grimes and playing that character from where they left off, because I'm sure he's dying to play that character. I'm sure he's enjoyed the break. He's in another movie right now. He's probably going to do other movies or shows, or I don't know what he's going to do, but when he becomes Rick Grimes again, you know, that's going to be such a monumental moment. They're going to film the shit out of that. I'm sure a lot of cast members are going to be there. I'm too excited for that. Q&A, what do you think Negan and Daryl will have to say to each other in that scene at Negan's cell? Daryl's probably going to say, stop stop talking. A lot of people are starting to listen, and I don't like what you have to say. If you don't shut up, I'm going to keep you in this cell. You're going to lose all your freedom. And yeah, I think Daryl's probably going to threaten Negan. I think Negan's just going to smile and laugh at him because he's going to find it so hilarious. Q&A, do you believe Carol deserves to kill Alpha rather than Negan? I don't know if she necessarily deserves. I mean, I guess she does deserve to kill Alpha because Negan didn't really lose anything to Alpha. Carol did, but I would prefer Negan to kill Alpha. And I talked about that in my Negan and Alpha video. I explained why there, but I would much rather it be Negan than Carol. Q&A, how do you think the last Rick Grimes movie will end? Well, I mean, Gimple already confirmed that Rick survives all 3 movies, so I don't know. It's either going to be a reunion or he's going to go back onto the television show. His story somehow is going to end, and I don't even know how they plan on doing that. Like, how do you end Rick Grimes' story and keep The Walking Dead going on, like on and on, when Judith is going to be there? That kind of hints that Rick Grimes has to die at some point, right? But I don't want him. I really just don't want him to die. He's such an awesome character. I just don't want him to die. Like, we already kind of had a death scene with him already. It just sucks. You know, I've already lived through that. I want this character to live on. I want him to die an old man. He already lost Carl. Rick has to live. At this point, Rick just has to live. Q&A, what would you do if Maggie took over the group from Fear the Walking Dead and brought them all to The Walking Dead? Would it be better off? No. I think the issue with Fear the Walking Dead is the writing. It's not necessarily the characters or anything like that. It's like, I think Morgan is a better character than Maggie. Like, I really, really do. And Morgan on Fear the Walking Dead is suffering right now. So any character, even Rick Grimes, if he was on that show, it would suffer as well. I mean, Rick Grimes is kind of special. There's something with Andrew Lincoln. He brings something to every scene. So I guess the exception for Andrew Lincoln and Rick Grimes is, well, there has to be an exception for that. But yeah, if Maggie went to Fear the Walking Dead, I'd be pretty pissed. I'm kind of sick of the crossovers already. I'm annoyed that Dwight's over there. You know how much Dwight could have brought to the Whisper arc if he would have stayed on the main show? Like, I'm so annoyed with that already. But yeah, post your thoughts down below. Let me know what you guys all think. Make sure to post more questions for next week. And yeah, I really enjoyed doing this video. So throughout this next week, we're going to learn some more information. Remember, we're only 3 weeks away from now, so they're going to be releasing a lot more stuff. I think the season 10 premiere, premiere, I think in Los Angeles I think it's this week or it's the week after. It's soon anyway. So yeah, that's super exciting. But anyways, post your thoughts down below. Hope you all enjoyed the video and thanks for watching.